welcome to another episode of Voices Behind the Materials, where we talk to the experts who shape what we learn and how we learn. I am Pia Fadi, your host, and today we'll be talking about how instructional materials are evaluated to ensure the quality, relevance, and effectiveness. Joining with us today is Griza, an experienced instructional materials evaluator who works closely with teachers and developers to make learning better for all. Welcome to the show, Miss Griza.
Thank you so much, Miss Pia, for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here and to share what goes on behind the scenes.
I'm also happy and grateful that you are here with us engaged in the show. So, are you ready for our talk?
I'm so excited.
Let's start the basics. So, I'm gonna ask about how you evaluate instructional materials. So, when you evaluate instructional materials, what tools or methods do you use, or do you usually use? Do you prefer numbers and data, or more of like a descriptive feedback?
Wow, that's a great question, Pia. No, so I actually use both quantitative methods like checkers, rating scales help me measure things like accuracy and structures, but also qualitative tools, like interviews or open-ended feedback give me deeper insight into how students and teachers experience
That makes a lot of sense. So I have I'm curious about how do you use rubrics and checklists when you evaluate?
Yes, definitely. I use rubrics that focus on things like content accuracy, learner engagement, and alignment with learning goals. Checklists are helpful, making sure technical details like formatting or visual evidence.
Okay, so that's a great insight about how you use checklists. So that's helpful for evaluating. So now let's talk about feedback. How do you involve students or your co-teachers in the evaluation process? So do you involve your students?
I collect feedback through short surveys or interviews. Sometimes even casual conversation will allow. So I focus on their actual experiences, what worked well and what don't.
But are there times that you have to revise materials based on that feedback? Because I think there will be setbacks.
Yes, many times, no? So nobody's perfect, right? So I remember, I had a case where teachers said reading module was too advanced. So we simplified vocabulary, added some visuals, and comprehension activities. After that, student engagement improved.
Okay, so I would say that's very effective because after that student improve a lot. So that's a great example of responsive development. But I imagine it's not always smooth. So have you encountered challenges during the evaluation process? Have you faced?
That's the time is a big one. Through evaluation takes time. Also, getting honest feedback will be thought, especially if users are shy or don't like to criticize. But I'm balancing all the feedback can be so good.
Okay, so that makes a sense. That makes sense because sometimes evaluating and giving feedback is a little tricky. But how do you make sure that your evaluation stays fair and do you think it actually helps?
I stick to clear, consistent criteria and collect input from different sources. I also try to see things from the learner's point of view, not just teachers or developers.
So after you finish an evaluation, so what usually happens next? Because we have that process of evaluation. So what usually comes next?
Usually, we share the results with the development team. We have a development team, right? So based on that, we make revisions and test the updated version before releasing it for the classrooms.
Okay, that's very systematic for you to do that. So are your methods similar to other teachers in class? Because I think some of their similarity.
In some ways, no, yes. But teachers focus more on students' reaction during class. I talk at the bigger pictures like long-term effectiveness, curriculum alignment, and inclusivity.
Okay. So in some ways, you focus more on students' reaction in class. So speaking of inclusivity, do you think about the culture or background of students when evaluate? Do you consider?
Yes, I always check. I check if the content, language, and examples are appropriate and relatable for the students' cultural and cultural context. So it's important that materials feel inclusive and respectful.
Okay, so that's very insightful. No? So I'm happy that you share a lot about your experiences and insights. So thank you so much, Riza, for sharing your knowledge and experiences with us today here. So it's clear that evaluating instructional materials is both a science and an art. So it's been great talking to you, and what can you say about our meeting today?
Thank you so much again, Miss Sophia, and to your show, no, for inviting me. And it's been good talking about something I'm passionate about. So thank you so much, Anjali. Really grateful.
Okay, thank you so much. That's so honest of you.
Yes.
And thank you to everyone watching. We hope today's episode gave you a better understanding of how evaluation helps shape effective and meaningful learning experience. Until next time, this is the Voices Behind the Materials signing off.
Good morning, ma'am. So, when you evaluate instructional materials, what tools or methods do you usually use? Do you prefer numbers and data or more descriptive feedback?
I usually use a combination of both quantitative and qualitative methods. Quantitative tools like checklists and rating scales, they help me measure specific criteria, while qualitative methods such as open-ended feedback, they allow me to understand the user experience more deeply.
Sense. So, do you use rubrics or checklists when you evaluate?
Yes, of course. I use rubrics with clear criteria for aspects like content accuracy, learner engagement, and alignment with learning goals. Checklists help ensure nothing is overlooked, especially in technical areas like formatting and usability.
So, what challenges do you face during evaluation?
One challenge, of course, is time. Evaluating thoroughly can be very time consuming. Also, sometimes it's hard to get honest feedback from users or to balance different opinions during revisions.
How do you make sure your evaluation stay fair and actually help?
I use clear criteria and I try to gather feedback from a variety of sources. I also try to look at the materials from the learner's perspective, not just the teacher's.
Mm. So after evaluation, ma'am, after you finish an evaluation, what usually happen next?
Yes, the findings are shared with the development team. We prioritize revisions based on feedback and then test the updated version before final use.